Alright, we have just arrived in Florence, and I booked this hotel Numa Felice, which is a bit like an Airbnb kind of setup. It's like multiple hotel rooms, no lobby, they just gave me a PIN code. But it's pretty nice, and it's about half of what we paid for our hotel in Rome, which was okay, but not as nice. And I just wanted to show you the ceiling. It reminds me a bit of the museum we were in earlier, except obviously not original. And the coolest part, in my opinion, although it's too rainy to use it, is this balcony, which is pretty cool. Go behind the curtains here. It goes out in there. So anyway, now we're gonna go and find some food, hopefully. Seems like a lot easier, less touristy restaurants than Rome. Alright, after our first night in Venice, we went and got dinner, then we woke up and we went to the Ponte del Vecchio, which is the famous bridge in Florence that goes across the river. It's full of shops, mostly luxury, and some kind of local artisan shops. But you did have some good views at both sides of the river. And then shortly after that, we went over to the Palazzo del Vecchio, which is home to the Arnolfo Tower, and originally where the statue of David was held. And then shortly after that, we went to the Galleria d'Accademia, and that's where we were actually able to see the real David statue, which is held there, and there was a ton of other busts from Michelangelo, as well as some other famous sculptors. So yeah. Dome is crazy. They got the crazy dome here in Florence. Dome. If you go back to my Tenerife video, there's also a dome. Not quite as big as this one though. Dolce vita. Anyway, about to go in over there. See this. Oops.
Por eso lo cancelamos.
Cheapest pass, so we got into the crypt, which also lets you skip the line for the actual dome, and you can go in the baptistry as well. It's 15 euros per person, per adult. So now we're gonna go to the baptistry. If you pay a little extra, I don't know how much extra, you can go up in the tower or in the dome. So up to the top of that. So I'm here in a quiet area, walking over to the Piazzale Michelangelo to see the Duomo, and say if you're here, things that it's kind of well known for. Gelato is made here in Florence, and they have a lot of paninos, which is just sandwiches basically. And the most famous one is Baradetto, which is made with tripe, which is cow's stomach. And also truffles, a lot of truffles here. So if you find anything with truffles, it's usually pretty good. So. Sale Michelangelo. I'm going out for a bit just to try and get some nighttime photos with my film camera. So I just figured I would add a little section of the vlog here. So far we've been to Rome and Florence. I actually liked Rome. It was definitely a lot of touristy things that you could... It was hard to avoid, more so than other cities. Like London, it's a little bit easier to avoid. Paris, it can be, although if you're there for the first time, it's probably not. And then, things like that. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. I thought the buildings were super cool. I mean, you just turn around, there's a 1,000-year-old, 15-year-old, 100-year-old, 2,000-year-old church or something right around there, or a wall. So that was really cool in my opinion. And let's see what else. Let's start this. Florence, I think, is also really pretty. It's more of like a Renaissance, medieval kind of architecture. Sort of like this, and just a little bit more scattered. But I think the food was actually slightly better in Rome. I think the Florence food has been okay, but it's still been good. Italian food, just different. Gelato started here, which is nice, and I like the paninis here. And then I feel like Florence is even more touristy in a way. Like there's been a lot more Americans here, for example. But it's also much smaller, so it's a little bit easier to get away from if you just cross the river to certain places. So kind of like that better. But really cool views and pretty countryside. So excited to get to Tuscany tomorrow. Another cool thing about Florence is all the live street performances. I've seen saxophone, oboe, guitar. They love. Streets are pretty active. This guy's over here playing Andrea Bocelli on guitar, which is actually fire.
Really getting the better table looking. Yeah. Okay. So,
This morning we woke up, took a train to Pisa, it took about an hour, and we're here to see the tower, which unsurprisingly is a little bit of a tourist trap, although it's free, so it's all good. Here it is. The cathedral is under scaffolding, unfortunately. But yeah, there she blows the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Oh. I have to say, it does lean farther than I thought it did. I kind of figured it would be like a small, noticeable thing, but it's actually scary. I would not want to climb it, I don't think. But anyway, she is. Now that I'm a little closer, you can actually see what I'm working with here. Basically, the whole thing has just sunken into the ground. And it's surprisingly not too flooded though. Alright, so we went to the Pisa airport and we picked up a rental car from Sixt. I used a work discount so I could get this BMW 4 Series. Normally I'm in like a Kia Soul or something, so that's different. And now we're at this Autogrill place, which is supposed to be, it's a rest stop, but it's supposed to actually have good food, unlike American rest stops. So we're gonna see how that goes. Also, I don't know if it was Sixt or Italy, but I was like an hour after the reservation, which in the US would be fine because the reservation time is early, so you can pick it up. And they were like, "Oh, you're a no-show, so we had to give you a different car." And then they charged me, and I was like, "Why am I paying extra?" And they're like, "Well, we'll give you a little discount." But they still charged me extra, so that's kind of annoying. So just beware of that. Sixt and or maybe all of Italy, I don't know. I'm guessing it's Sixt. It's first time for both. So anyway, yeah, go try this Autogrill food. At the gas station lasagna. Ooh, see how it is. Get some fruits. Just arrived here in our Tuscan villa, if you will. It's not ours. We just have a little apartment in it. But it is stunning. This is the view. Just rolling countryside hills, nice and green. And there's a little town up on the hill over here. Pienza. And another one over there to the right that is a little bit less visible. So yeah, we're here for a couple days. Probably won't vlog too much because we're just gonna be relaxing here, but will a little bit. So okay, we're in Pienza, and Pienza is a place. I read about this. I think it was here the Pope used to live. Maybe that was a different town. Anyway, it's a very old Roman / Etruscan village, and we're about to try to get some dinner, hopefully. But it's beautiful. Beautiful. I don't remember the history. It's all in the guidebook. I can talk about it later. Okay, so the other thing about Pienza is it was declared a UNESCO site in 1996. Now we're walking through some really cool spots. This is, hold on, you guys gotta see this. This is pretty crazy. It's just super. Actually, this might be someone's yard. Super idyllic, though. Aside from the yard. So yeah, this is the town. We're about to go get some cacio e pepe. The sun has blessed us today, slightly. Woo! This is sick. About to go to some hot springs. Hopefully, hot springs town anyway. And yeah, it's just phenomenal. I've used 20% of my battery since we left the house. Okay, so I've learned a bit more about Pienza. Basically, there was this guy that was the Pope, Pius II, and he built this town to be like a utopian town, I guess. Kind of like a papal retreat in a way. And so it's one of the first examples of humanist urban planning, even though it's super tiny, but apparently it influenced a lot of other cities to do the same. And so it's one of the first examples of that, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, the city was built in 900, something like that. And then the Pope made it in 1400, that kind of utopia. So now it's, that's where a lot of the stuff is here. So Pienza, and a lot of people come here. as we're about to discover for the Gladiator movie set where his house was filmed. And then on the way there, we found this church, which is pretty crazy, sitting here in the dark because it's €1 to light it up. So yeah, about to go to the Gladiator set. Whee! Okay, so this is the scene from Gladiator when he pulls up to his house. I think he's in heaven. I can't remember. Anyway, his family's basically dead is the moral of the story. That's his house over there. He's looking at it from the field over here. And you can go down there, but it's quite muddy, so we're not going to do that, I don't think. You can hate on me in the comments if you like. After you like and subscribe, feel free to hate. Okay. Anyway, now we're going to go to Bagni Vignoni and hopefully get some hot springs. Although it's kind of hot out now. Okay, we're here in Bagni Vignoni. Vignoni, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. This is the town square, it's an old hot springs. And then there's a bunch of spas all around it. So we're going to try and go on one of these spas and just have a relaxing day here today, hopefully, after we eat some lunch. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Alright, we are here at the Terme Spa. About to change and go into the spa here and get some hot spring action, so see you in a bit. Alright, for your information, we just came to Le Terme Spa. It was €38 per person. I had lunch there as well, it was pretty good, right on the pool, and we had some really good gelato there. Probably the best we've had since we've been in Italy, so yeah, I definitely recommend. There's also another hotel spa called Posta, which we tried because it has an outdoor spa and it's a little bit cheaper. They're closed on Thursdays, like Chick-fil-A. Actually, unlike Chick-fil-A, which is closed on Sundays. Yeah, anyway. And then there's a third one, which is more expensive, called Adler. But yeah, this is Bagni Vignoni. I will type that out in the subtitle, because I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Okay, another thing about this area, if you are doing the Via Francigena, you can stop in this town. So this is apparently some old Roman road that now people hike and bike. And this town was a Roman bath town, partially because of that. They found the hot springs along that road, and you'd stop here and bathe. So, if you're doing that road, then this is here. If you're not doing that road, maybe you want to consider doing that road. After our spa day in Bagni Vignoni, we went back to Pienza for dinner, and then we went back to our stay in our agriturismo and watched the sunset from here, which is what I captured this time lapse of, and it's just a great, peaceful setting to watch it over the hills. So you may remember when we picked up the car, we stopped at this place called Autogrill. That was like a gas station with food. I didn't realize that we went to like the smallest one, maybe. I've seen two now that go over the highway like a bridge. I'll show you when we get out of the car what it looks like, but it's just a huge complex. I'm guessing there's going to be even more food. You can kind of see it in this little video behind those people, actually. But so yeah, now we're going to go in this Autogrill and get some lunch. So we're driving from Tuscany to Lake Garda. Yep, so there's the highway and Autogrill. There's a bistro, so lunchtime. Alright, accidentally got my most expensive meal of the trip, €74. And I got American barbecue because I couldn't find the pasta. But I also got some lasagna and dessert. And didn't really know what was happening there, but we did it. There's the highway going under us. Highway robbery is what just happened. Okay, we just left the Autogrill. You can see by my face it was shocking. No, it was pretty cool, but a little bit jarring. It was much busier. I didn't know what was going on. I don't speak Italian. All the signs are in Italian. They spoke English though. That seems to be very common here, actually. What I get? American barbecue was actually kind of good for American barbecue. I was not expecting that. The pasta and stuff was similar to the last time we had it. We'd still go again, but I think if you want the pasta, not the buffet, you have to order that And then they give you an order number, I think, but I don't really know. So we just got a buffet, and that's how we ended up spending 74 euros on random stuff that we didn't even know what it fully was. So, anyway, there's also a little bistro downstairs. Probably better if you just want a sandwich or a croissant.